What's up, guys? So I want to make a quick video and talk about maybe the 5 books that I would recommend an Elvis fan should read. Like, especially if you're new. Like I read Elvis books, from time to time. I've read so many of them, but it's fun to pick up new ones. People message me. They're like, "Hey, what book do you think I should start off reading? What would you recommend?" And I get so many of these comments or questions that I decided to just make a video, so everybody can listen to it and then stop asking me. No, I'm just kidding. I like the questions, but I think a video would help. So I would say, without giving this a lot of thought, the first one that comes to mind is Ginger's book. I read this book a few years ago. I think I read it twice, and I was so disappointed that I was done with it because I really just loved it. I like her book because it gave a glimpse into Elvis's life, which not a lot of people did. Because I was thinking oh, Elvis was so depressed and this and that, and he'd had some issues with that. But, she gave insights that I'd never really thought of before. Elvis really wasn't that overweight. It's just how the jumpsuits made him. He looked like pretty much an average American man, and that's true. When you see him in his tracksuits and other outfits, he didn't really look that bad. And also a revelation I got from that book was he wasn't really super depressed like a lot of the people said that he was. I believe he had some struggles, but I had a different impression of Elvis. It was just a great book, and I don't remember all the details of it, but it's definitely in my top 5. The second one is Linda Thompson. I would recommend that to a new Elvis fan. Her book, her book is of her whole life, so Elvis is just a portion of that book. But I really enjoyed that as well. I enjoyed more listening to her interviews about Elvis, like on Larry King and all this stuff. So when I read her book, it wasn't all new material to me. So maybe I wasn't as thrilled listening to it, but I love hearing Linda talk about Elvis. She seems like such a sweet lady. And I think, she describes him this was in 72 when they met. She would just watch him when he slept and just was looking at how I was about to say was made, but I guess so, how he was made, his bone structure, how just so many details. And so far we're on the 2 big relationships in the 70s, Ginger and Linda. So I would recommend that one. Number 3, I would say get the book The Death of Elvis. There's a lot of controversy. Some people don't want to admit or don't want to believe that Elvis had a problem with prescription medication. This book is so fascinating to me from front to cover. It talks about the 70s. I got done with this a couple years ago. I made some reviews on this book, which you can find on YouTube if you just do a quick search. It talks about his autopsy. It talks about the events. It talks about conspiracy theories that Vernon had. Was his son M word? I don't want to say that on YouTube. You know how censorship and all that is. It talks about the number of pills he took. It talks about how strung out, for lack of a better term, he was. It really just gives you an accurate view, in my opinion, of the death of Elvis. It's just, I could just sit and look over these books again to really give you guys a great synopsis or summary of what the book was, but that one was great. I definitely recommend that. That's number 3. 2 more. I think, I have so much fun also reading any Memphis Mafia book. Anything from Marty Lacker. I enjoyed his, Sonny's book, George Klein. They're all good, and they all give a different perspective on Elvis's life from their point of view. Some people are like, "Oh no, this one's not telling the truth because this one said." It's they could all really, be telling their truth or their side of the truth or how they saw it. When a police, is investigating something, he'll ask everybody in it to see if their stories, match. Or actually, a better example is the Bible. Okay, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. It's just different points of view of the same experience. So, whether you think, oh, they lied, oh, they they shouldn't have done this. Like, as an Elvis fan, I'm into any type of glimpse into Elvis's life, good or bad. So you can't really go wrong with any book that you get from them, in my opinion, whether it be whoever. There's just so many, and I don't come into it with thinking they lied or they're not telling the truth, which a lot of people come and say, oh, you can't believe that. But I mean, they wrote it, so whether you agree with it or not, that's what they said. And so those books show the good, bad, and the ugly. And as an Elvis fan, I don't shy away from that. I'm actually intrigued by it. And for the final... All right, guys, sorry about that. My camera died. So my fifth book, and I gave this some thought, and I know I'm going to go back in this list and be like, oh, I should have got this book. I should have added this book. I would say the fifth one that I would recommend to a new Elvis fan, somebody that's come across, come into the Elvis fold because of the Elvis movie or whatever, where should you start? I would say, not because it's my favorite, but I would say put Elvis and Me in there, Priscilla's book. Because just for completeness, like, you got to put Priscilla's book in there, I guess. Just because, you got to hear from the ex-wife, you got to hear what she's got to say, because you're gonna wonder. You got Linda's book, great, very sweet book. Ginger's, that's probably my favorite of this one, and right up there is The Death of Elvis. I love that. The investigation is just great. Another one just came to mind now. It'd be number 6. Okay, this is the special one. Get the book Elvis Day by Day. I don't know, it's a little bit harder to get now, just like The Death of Elvis, but Elvis Day by Day is a great book. Gosh, now more come to mind. If I Can Dream, Larry Geller. It's just like, some are fans of certain people, some aren't. So you may not like, this person's or that person's, but at the end of the day, it's like you take what you like from each book, really, and you just kind of like get in the book and kind of like, what would it be like if I was there? How would I be viewing this? How would I be reacting? There's so many, you can't really go wrong. Those are my 5, with 6 being Elvis Day by Day. Tell me in the comments what you guys think. For a new Elvis fan, I would start there. There's so many. There's so many I want to read, which I haven't read yet. Like, I've read a ton, but like, I want to read Child Bride. That sounds interesting. Elvis's stepmom came out with one, kind of controversial, I want to read. There's another one that came out in like 1980. It's very controversial. I think Lamar did a lot in it. Anyway, that was supposed to be my quick video, but it's probably like 8 minutes now. But tell me what you guys think. I was about to say, if I left anyone out, tell me, but I'm going to be frustrated if I do. But that's my quick 5. Check them out. Hit the like button on your way out. Talk to you next time.